Give me your first and last name.
Victor Edinburgh.
What is it again?
Victor Edinburgh.
Victor Edinburgh. Okay. What's your relationship to Paradise, Mr. Edinburgh?
For quite a while, she has been my oldest customer, and I went from that to going over doing service work, helping her out, being a repairman for her at times, painting the shop, repairing the shop. Basically, it's been quite a number of years.
In all your experience in doing the work at Paradise, did you ever run across any types of dust-like substances that you saw while you were doing those repairs?
No, a great deal of it, especially up around the vent covers and running surveillance wiring over to cameras and setting those up for. Yeah,
so you
definitely
disrupted a lot of things unknowingly that could potentially been asbestos in that shop.
Possibly, yes, definitely, most definitely.
Are you aware that they did major renovations when she first moved in there? I think it was, what, 2011?
I believe so.
2011?
Yeah. Yes, they did. They had to install booths, build walls, hook electrical, pretty much everything to build a salon.
Now, because it used to be a dollar store, right?
Exactly. I
and
believe
so
it was.
The dollar store had that dollar store floor.
Mm-hmm.
So Ms. Ruby indicated that she invested roughly about $10,000 in that floor. You did what kind of floor was in the salon?
It was ceramic tile.
Oh, it was tile, ceramic tile. So that's the expensive stuff.
Yes.
So you guys had to actually go down and put that down on concrete.
Yes.
Interesting. So that wasn't laid on top of no hardwood floor, no carpet or nothing like that.
No.
That was laid directly to the foundation.
To the concrete. Yes.
To the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's very interesting, and that was 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct?
That's correct.
We're at 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Now fast forward 8 years today. That building was exposed because of black mastic, which is used back then in the 1970s to secure those types of deals because of the glue.
Exactly.
So you guys disturbed the black mastic unknowingly, removing the old flow to put the new flow in. So if anybody got any good common sense out of this scenario, it seems like that in 8 years, that stuff has been floating around in that mall
for quite a long time.
Unabated,
unknowingly, unaware of.
And you believe that?
It's really hard to believe that they didn't do or secure and remove it before anybody went in.
Really? You feel that way?
I feel that way.
Now, do you think that they should have had shoppers in the mall being open, even though the state doesn't require them to shut it down? Do you think it should have been still open?
They should have educated the public and let them make the decision to come shop there. Full disclosure is something that you give a person. Yes, we have some, but it's not at a maximum or whatever. To give some kind of education about what's going on.
What's going on? And you don't think they did that?
I did it ever.
Now they say they put up them danger signs
after we moved out.
Yeah.
Was that after we moved out?
Yeah, but you're talking about before you guys moved.
While we were there.
You're talking about in the past 8 years.
Yeah.
In the past 8 years is what you mean, really.
I shopped there. I went there. I did some work there, helping her out. I've even had to go to the office and take them my business insurance so they could see that, so I could do some, repair work. So you been helping to keep the place maintained, so you unwillingly and unknowingly has been. Me and several other companies and brothers and sisters and I never heard anything, never told me anything about it.
And the whole time you've been doing it?
The whole time I've been going there.
And here's what's funny, the mall went bankrupt in 2008. Y'all moved in 2011. Renovated. Here we are 8 years later, 2019. They got asbestos. So it's always been there. It's going to be hard for them to say, well, nobody was exposed, I believe, wouldn't you say? Because if you guys disturbed it in 2011 when you did the major renovation, it's in the ventilation system.
It's in the ventilation. It was It was exposed. It was in the air. I don't know. I'm not a specialist on asbestos. There are times I've ran across different areas that had it, and they asked me to come work with them, but I hadn't did the shop then. I think it was about 5 years later. I did a small business shop on removing asbestos, just small amounts. But it has to be. You have to be licensed. You have to go through the courses. You have to be, you have to go through too much.
Now, you guys said in the meeting what we had in preparation for what we're about to do, that you guys didn't feel that they removed it properly and they had the proper people. You feel that way?
From the photos I seen, there was not adequate attire. They did not wear the suits nor the masks. And from what the lady showed me, the sheetrock they pulled out of there, they had it out by the dumpster, and it was just handling by hand and selling sheetrock. So I can't say for sure, but that was totally irresponsible and a wrong way for disposing of it.
Interesting. So you are very much in favor of economic development in this community, I'm sure.
Definitely.
How do you feel right now moving forward about this mall being developed going forward when 20 million or more of those dollars that they're using are TIF dollars, which means they're public funds that you and I are putting into that mall? So we got a little bit of ownership in it because it's public money, tax dollars. So how do you feel about that? What do you think should happen to this mall?
Well, actually, I think the owner actually should first make sure he has all of his ducks in a row as far as permission to remove it, the right removal. He needs to educate, expose to the public, the people that's still going there to be shot. The top floor is being removed from the top floor, from what I understand, but there's still customers coming in. That is, I feel that they could be more responsible, very much more responsible for brothers, sisters, uncles, babies, for everyone, including the shoppers and the store owners as well.
Because you can still right now go up those escalators that ain't working, walking up.
You can walk up, just walk up.
Right to the contaminated area.
To the contaminated area, without it being caged off. Yes.
And that's the facts.
That's the facts.
That's crazy.
It is. It is irresponsible. Right now, I'm just glad that we got a chance to move forward and give some education on that mall, and to the community, that they take a great risk with their children and their lives just going there to shop. Because normally it doesn't show up from what I read and what I understand and what I remember and shop for 20 or 30 years. So we don't even know what our risks are at this point. And, it's like saying you possibly have a deadly disease and not knowing for sure for 30, 20 or 30 years. It's unthinkable that they would do that.
And that's the real problem.
That's
because
the real problem.
Firmly, if you guys were there 8 years ago disturbing it, 8 years later in the future, it's still there until May 6th when they started removing it. And we know it was there because they removed it.
And I volunteered and helped and did a little help in removing some of the things that was there, that some of the doors,
as part of the asbestos removal?
Yes. No, not the removal. To move some things, and what we did was wipe everything off, bring it off the truck, bring it over here. And since then, I had went and sanitized all the doors, not even knowing. You know what I mean? What could have fell on them. I had to take that and my, a lot of people didn't wonder, they were probably wondering why I was wiping down doors. But I had to use what I had at hand, the best sanitizers I had.
So what do you think should happen to the mall?
I think that they should actually close the mall.
Really? You feel that way?
Yes, definitely.
Why?
It's a health hazard. It's a life hazard.
Now, they're going to tell you that you ain't been exposed. And because you ain't been exposed, they ain't gonna know, and you ain't gonna know for.
Well, you can tell me I'm not hot, and I'm sitting here in the heat, and I'm sweating, but I know
you hot.
I'm hot. Right. You know, I know I've been exposed. If they have asbestos, I have been exposed. I just don't know how and when or if it's going to take effect.
And so right now, everybody's planning to gather together to do a lawsuit. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
And we filed what with the state attorney general?
I believe
today. We filed with the complaint.
With the complaint, yes.
That you guys agreed to on yesterday.
Yes, we did. Yes.
And so hopefully this awareness will bring about some type of action that'll be positive.
Hopefully. Let's pray for it. Hopefully. Let's pray for it. My prayers go out. My voice is going to go out. My energy is going to go out for that.
And what would you say to the owner, Peter Brosnick, right now, and the investors that have put all their money into this, and that with these revelations and awarenesses that you're doing might disrupt what they're trying to do? What would you say to them right now?
As far as disrupting whatever going on and whatever renovations or escalations that they're going to move into, whatever business ventures, they should stop.
Really?
Clear that up. Take care of everything as far as all health issues there before they let anybody back in those doors.
And that's what you firmly believe?
Close those doors.
What about the businesses that are going to be impacted?
They're going to have to reimburse and do something to help them out, because you just can't put people out or shut them down. You can shut them down, but in knowledge of what's going on and what's there, you should have done that a long time ago.
8 years ago?
Yes.
Robert?